Your Phoenix real estate market update for June 2020 is starting right now. Hey everyone, I'm Caitlin McKegg. I'm a realtor here in Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you for coming to my channel where I talk about Phoenix living as well as Phoenix real estate. If this is your first time, you might want to subscribe because I do post videos every Friday about those topics. And you can also check out my social media channels if you would like to stay up to date there as well. First of all, thank you for all of you who have reached out to me for assistance in either buying or selling a home in Phoenix or just with the questions that you have about Phoenix real estate. I'm always happy to hear from you. So if you have questions or you're thinking about any of those things, feel free to give me a call, text, or email, and I will respond to you as soon as I can. So what's going on in the Phoenix real estate market now in June 2020? We've had a lot of changes over the last few months, especially because of COVID and the stay-at-home orders. But now as we're coming out of that, we are seeing an incredible rebound. As I've said for many months, we have a low supply of homes for sale in the Phoenix area. That has been consistent even throughout the COVID crisis. Right now, our active listings are down 32% from this time in 2019. Even though we have fewer listings that are active right now, our listings under contract is actually up 10% compared to last year. When you look at the median monthly sales price, you'll see that that number is up 5% compared to 2019. One number that sticks out like a sore thumb is our number of closed sales, and that is down 30%. Largely because of the stay-at-home orders with COVID, the real estate activity was fairly low through April and started to rebound in May. Knowing that closings are at least 30 days on average, we're now seeing those numbers of low closing rates because we're looking back at May when many deals in April would have been closing. With our active listing numbers down 32%, I can tell you that the months of supply that we have in Phoenix is about 2.3 months of supply. I talk about this number often, and what this means is that if no new homes were to come on the market in Phoenix, we would run out of homes for sale in 2.3 months. A balanced market is usually around 6 months of inventory, so we're definitely on the low side. One of the most interesting statistics that we're seeing right now is that 23% of closings in June so far have closed over asking price. Many of those homes are in the lower price range between $200,000 and $250,000. If you look specifically at that price range, you'll see that 38% of those sales closed over asking price. So the competition is fierce in that price range. One of the impacts of COVID that I've spoken about is the luxury market, or anything that's really over $500,000 here in the Phoenix metro area. That slowed down quite a bit, and some areas where we see a lot more luxury real estate like Paradise Valley and Scottsdale went in the direction of a buyer's market for a little bit of time. Now everything has rebounded back towards the seller's market, and the number of homes under contract in the price range of $500,000 and above is up 159%. This number is compared to last month when we weren't seeing as much activity in the luxury market. May was a month where we saw a lot of rebound in our market. Over the last 4 weeks, we've seen contracts jump 20% since last month's report, bringing our total recovery since April 5th to 68%. And 2.5% higher than we were in February. All of this rebounding is really showing the demand from buyers that are looking to purchase homes, and unfortunately our inventory is still really low. There's a lot of pent-up demand from buyers that either wanted to buy during the time that we were in the stay-at-home order, or have decided that now they'd like to buy after spending so much time in their house. All of this pent-up demand is increasing our asking price and closing prices of these homes. So if you're on the fence about selling, I can tell you with certainty now is one of the best times to sell your house. As I mentioned earlier, our listings under contract is up 10% compared to last year. And I want you to see how this looks on an under contract listings chart. Take a look at how things have progressed this year. Starting in January, our listings under contract slowly climbed to a peak around the February timeframe, and then you see a sharp dip. And that's when our stay-at-home orders and the fears of COVID really became real for most of us here in Phoenix. Then there was a slight recovery, and we slowly went back down through March and April, which makes perfect sense because many people were not leaving their homes, let alone buying houses in March and April. Then as you see us go through April, starting in May, the number of under contracts listings climbs and climbs and climbs. And now where we have landed, we're at the peak that we've been at all year. We now have more listings under contract than we did before COVID and our stay-at-home orders. It's great to see that activity, but the challenge with this is that although we have many listings under contract, we still don't have many listings that are active for sale. We're now in record lows as far as the number of listings for sale compared to the number of listings under contract. For example, the city of Maricopa currently only has 93 active listings for sale. And over the last 12 years, the average of number of homes for sale in Maricopa has been 428. With only 93 homes for sale, Maricopa actually has 289 homes that are already under contract. And if you look at that contract ratio, as we call it, that puts us at 311 for a contract ratio. Normal contract ratios don't typically exceed 150. Let's take a look at this table. This table is showing you the various cities within the Phoenix metro area and showing their active listings for sale along with their historical average and the contract ratio. As a reminder, that contract ratio is the comparison of active homes for sale and homes that are currently under contract. As I mentioned, a normal ratio doesn't normally exceed 150. And if you look at all of these cities, many of them are well above the 150 mark. All of that information should help you understand what the situation is here in Phoenix with little listings to choose from and high demand for buyers. That combination is putting us in a seller's market. As I mentioned, when the stay-at-home orders hit Phoenix, we did see all of our cities start to weaken in terms of the seller's market. And there were a few cities that actually started heading towards a buyer's market, and it became a very real possibility that that could be the case. Those were largely the luxury markets like Paradise Valley and Scottsdale. Now we see everything starting to head back in the direction of a seller's market. If you take a look at this table, you'll see the percent change from last month, and the green arrows going upward on each city is an indication of a seller's market. This Cromford Market Index number is in balance anywhere between 90 and 110. Anywhere above 110 is a seller's market. And you can see that all of these are well over 110, some even in the 200 range. You can see Avondale is the worst with 310 as their current market index. This was the case prior to COVID, although I believe it was in the higher 300 range at that time. The moral of the story is Phoenix is in a seller's market with very little homes to choose from for buyers. I've received some comments from the audience talking about how prices will eventually drop off because of the recession that we're going into. And I'm not saying that that's not possible, but what I am saying is that in the relatively near future here in Phoenix, this trend is only going to increase our prices. So my advice to you, if you are thinking about buying a house, is to act sooner than later. We don't know how much longer we're going to be in the seller's market, but we also don't know how much longer these prices are going to continue to increase. What I can share is the current state of the market and suggestions and tips for how we can be competitive writing an offer for you. So if you are thinking about buying a house and you have a good reason to buy a house, I'm not discouraging you from doing so, especially because the interest rates are so low and it makes your monthly payment much more affordable than it would have been even 2 years ago. If you are thinking about selling your house and you have a good reason to do so, but you're on the fence, this is an excellent time to sell your house. Now, we need to discuss where you're going once it's sold, because if you do want to buy another house, it might be a little challenging for us to do that. But I can tell you that right now the demand is high, the prices are high, and you will get a great offer for your home. So that's the latest update for June 2020. I hope all of this information is helpful for you in making your decision whether you are thinking about buying or selling. If you want to discuss further or just have some questions about the information that I provided, I'm happy to talk through with you a bit further. So feel free to reach out to me. Also, if you would like to know the value of your home, if you're considering selling, check out the link below. It's a link to my instant home valuation, and I can also provide some more insight after you do that. As always, thank you for watching. I hope to hear from you if you have any questions. I'm Caitlin McKegg with Berkshire Hathaway.